Hi, my name is Jess, and I wanted to give an update on the current NextLX product experience as we're building this thing out. So in case you've never heard of NextLX before, or don't know what we do, we're solving the problem of job placement in this sort of post-AI industrial revolution. Specifically, we use AI to simulate a remote workplace to train a workforce, and then we get them jobs. So today I'm going to be showing off how we actually go about simulating this remote workplace and just, yeah, some stuff behind the scenes for how this thing works. So you might ask a little bit more of like, how does this work exactly? Well, we start by working backwards from demand. So as we find a cluster of open positions, we actually are able to take those open positions and feed those into an AI generator, and we have AI actually generate a set of simulated companies, characters, a plot, and a set of projects, importantly, where we can build these training scenarios to train for these opening positions. So we can use AI. So you can kind of feed any digital remote work type job into this system and come out with a training scenario. Today, we're going to be looking at this role called the digital marketing coordinator that we've identified that there's a lot of openings for. If you break that one down, it breaks down into about 8 projects or so that are sort of the core of that role for an entry-level digital marketing coordinator. And they start with this social media content calendar that we're going to be looking at today and kind of work their way up in terms of complexity. Okay, so if that's a little bit how it works, I'm going to now take you into what we call our wind tunnel, which is where we're building this sort of testing infrastructure to make sure that we can train and do skill transfer and all that kind of stuff. So our testing infrastructure, our wind tunnel, is in Discord, and there's actually a public Discord that you can join. Come hang out in NextLX and watch as we kind of like build this thing out loud. But if you come to the company testing channel, you have access in Discord to a couple of this thing we call Metabot that has some different commands that it can do to set up training scenarios and get things in a position where we can test out some of the prompts and make sure that the chaining's working, make sure that agents are behaving appropriately, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to run /create. And what that's going to do is create a brand new virtual company. So I've scrolled down here and you can see this brand new company was created, company number 12. You can see that it's called Chainlink Studios, and it is an agency that is specializing in branding, marketing, and social media services. So this company, Chainlink Studios, has a background to it. There's 4 employees, Alex, Zoe, Raj, and Sarah, also in this channel. They also have roles, background information, kind of a backstory about each one of them. These are all generated by AI. And you can see that these guys are actually in the channel as bots. So there's Raj, there's Sarah, there's Zoe, and I can interact with them. The other command that I have, one of the other commands I have as Metabot is I can actually call /hire me. And what that'll do is that'll add my Discord account as an employee within this particular company. So when I run that command, it tells me that I have been hired. And now we see Alex is reaching out and saying, hey, team, introduce you to our new company person. Sarah also reaches out. Welcome to the team, Jess. Zoe says hi. Kind of you all. Thanks. Zoe, Alex, thanks for the intro. Looking forward to learning from you. Alex will respond back. Zoe, I noticed that she's doing data insights and analytics. Zoe, actually, my first project is related to social media. I'd really appreciate your insight. Can we meet up this week? Sure, Thursday at 2 p.m. Potential calendar appointment. Okay, so you can kind of see this is the first of the remote this simulated workplace. You're actually simulating it through a real tool. So this is our chat interface. For the real product experience, we probably won't use Discord. We'll probably use an open source chat platform that allows for more customization and scaling, not on a per user basis and all that kind of stuff. But there's chat. There's also other tools. We also have access to tools like document editing. We have calendars, we have tasks, all that kind of stuff. In fact, I've built like a simple little testing interface for chat or for tasks. You can see that I've got these tasks in here. And interestingly, one of these tasks, onboarding, introduce Jess Martin in company chat, is actually assigned to Alex Nakamoto. I know it says undefined, but I promise it's assigned to Alex. Um, and what is interesting about that is when Alex greeted me in chat, that was not an explicit instruction to an LLM to put a message into a specific chat room. Instead, Alex as an LLM is a tool using LLM, and it was notified that a to-do item was created that was assigned to Alex Nakamoto, and it said, "Hey, which tool, if any, should your character use in response to this?" And it knows one of the tools that it has is chat, and so it responds in chat to this task being created, and puts it in the right channel, gets the right thing. So there's this really cool emergent capability as you bring all these tools together and you inform the agents of allow them to make the choice about which tools they should use to respond. So pretty neat. We've got tasks. We also have documents. So like I mentioned in the intro lead up to this, we have Jess, which has joined the company as a digital marketing intern, and his first task is to create a social media content calendar for Shock Wallet. And I've been given access to a couple of documents that are a document that like outlines the Shock Wallet company, and then a couple other things about the Shock Wallet social media strategy and that kind of stuff. But here's the assignment that I've been given: social media calendar guide for Shock Wallet launch. As an intern, I'll be creating a social media calendar for Shock Wallet's launch. So you can imagine like you're joining a company, it's your first job, you get a document from your manager that says, hey, here's the first thing I need you to work on. And it maybe has a guide for how to complete it, or maybe it's a link to a website that has how to do it, or maybe you're just expected to figure it out. But either way, you've got this guide, tells you how to walk through the steps of creating a social media content calendar. And probably the first interaction that you would have in a company would actually be going through this deliverable with your manager, right? But that's not as interesting of a meeting. So I'm going to kind of skip ahead of that meeting to the next meeting, which is the meeting where I've actually done the work of creating a social media content calendar or a social media calendar, and I'm getting review on that particular thing. So now I can jump back into Discord and use another one of those fancy slash commands to create this sort of meeting scenario. I'm going to type SAS meeting. That's actually going to create several different things on the back end, including a calendar entry, set that to the appropriate thing. It's going to notify all the LLMs about that calendar entry. It's also going to create the appropriate documents in the appropriate tables, and do some LLM grading of it. So that's what's happening right now while this is thinking, hitting the Anthropic API several different times through a couple of different agent chains that I could walk through. Okay, meeting has been created. It's a first draft review meeting of the social media content calendar. The meeting owner is Alex, and the goal of the meeting is for Alex to introduce the new intern Jess to the social media content calendar deliverable and answer any questions. All right, so we're going to jump into that in just a second. I can actually jump over to showing you this is actually in the database right now as a calendar entry. Let's see. It is in notified status. In just a second, hopefully, it will flip over to, all right, here we go. Alex Nakamoto's typing. Hey there, let's get this show on the road. Walk me through how you're thinking about this project, Jess. Okay, so he has seen the deliverable that I gave him, and has given me and is prepared some feedback and wants to talk about it. So I'm going to go grab a response from another channel that I've already done some of this dialogue with him. Let's see, I'll say, I'll just say, oh boy, that was so much fun. Obviously, I couldn't do a social media analysis because Shockwave hasn't launched yet, but I walked through the instructions and was able to put together a first draft. I wouldn't say I'm proud of it per se, but I learned a lot, and I think everything is there as it should be. So I'll send that to Alex, see what he says to that. So one of the things I've done with Alex's prompt in this particular scenario is I had Alex, the LLM, explain its thinking for each one of the chat messages. And so when we get a response back from Alex, we're going to get in thought bubbles its analysis of the situation and how it's thinking about responding. So this section up here is its analysis, and then this is what it actually says in the channel. So this kind of gives you like behind the scenes of the LLM. This would obviously be off in the real environment, but it's very helpful for us for debugging. So he says, interesting take, Jess, but hold up. Who said you can't do a social media analysis for a company that hasn't launched yet? That's like saying you can't plan a road trip without a car. Look, in the crypto world, landscape's already shifting. If even if it isn't live, there's a goldmine of data. What about their competitors? The overall crypto market sentiment, trending hashtags in the blockchain space. All right. So he's now kind of putting it back to me and saying, hey, you could think more about this. Think outside the box here. This is a good like prompt. I kind of pushed back. He addressed this objection that I had and kind of put it back in my hands to take over. So I have a response queued up as well here, so I don't have to type the whole thing out. Well, I suppose I could look for related products and companies and review their social media posts. So I can send that over. And again, Alex is going to kind of come back and we're going to get in this loop. This is sort of this learning loop where I'm saying, here's what I understand, what I think I understand. And then we have this expert, Alex, who's an expert in digital marketing, who is using a sort of grading. We have this pretty interesting process of using a rubric for to like grade my understanding. We have another teacher bot that talks about specific areas where I could grow. And then we have Alex kind of putting it in Alexese, like translating it into the character's way of talking about it. All right, and so yeah, this is an example of like learning scenario. So at this point, I'm going to go through this loop a couple times, and then maybe go when I'm done, I can kind of terminate the conversation of like, Alex, this is really helpful. Not terminate the conversation, but wrap it up. Um, I'll go check this out and do another draft, a deliverable, and get back to you. Thank you so much for your feedback. All right, so I can kind of wrap things up here, and at this point, I would be going to do my due diligence, go back, do the document again, put it back in the document editor. Anyway, just going through this loop of finishing this deliverable, and then as I'm continuing through it, I'll work on a basic SEO audit, email newsletter design. As I get to mastery in each one of these projects, and I may not do just one, it may be more than one of these as I'm working in this virtual company. Eventually, I'll get to the point where where I'm a strong enough candidate that NextLX can try to place me at a variety of different companies, and we can actually get a job. So this is a little bit of what the training looks like in this simulated workplace as we use AI to simulate a remote workplace to build a workforce.